The votes from 6 more states may still be rolling in, but the game appears to be over for Bernie Sanders. Checkmate Hillary Clinton. She got the number of delegates she needed to clinch the Democratic nomination a full day earlier than expected. Clearly elated last night, she held back from a full-blown celebration.
According to the news, we are on the brink of a historic, unprecedented moment.
As for Sanders, he maintains it ain't over till it's over, with his camp releasing a statement that said it is wrong to count the votes of superdelegates before they actually vote at the convention this summer. As contentious as that point may be, we're now officially staring down the barrel of a Trump-Clinton general election. Two of the most unpopular presidential candidates in history. Joining me to discuss are Adam Riley of GBH News. Adam, good to see you. Jesse Mermel, who's over there, former communications director for Governor Patrick. Good to see you, too. Jim. She's a current Hillary Clinton supporter, actually an always Hillary Clinton supporter.
Always, yes.
And Holly LaGros is author and big-time Bernie Sanders supporter. Holly, It's good to see you again. Let me start with you. I said at the beginning, not with a bang, but a whimper. Here's the headline in the New York Times the day after the same thing happened in 2008. Obama clinches nomination, first black candidate to lead a major party ticket. Here's the Times today. Clinton's long, grueling quest. Will Sanders sink the superdelegates? Why the disparate treatment like this?
I have no idea. I was watching some of the morning shows this morning, and it took one of them 13 minutes to mention the fact that the night before she had clinched the vote. We can speculate about why. The fact is that she did it.
You speculate about why.
You know what? I want to speculate about the fact that, to almost quote Joe Biden, this is a big deal. I'll stop short of quoting him exactly. But this is a really big deal. I think about being a little girl. You can probably relate and being interested in politics and people saying girls can't be president. That's not going to be true anymore. This is a really big deal for the whole country.
Okay, she won't speculate. I will. The reason why it's not as big a deal as it should be, whether you support Clinton or not you, whether one supports Clinton or not, is because your guys say it ain't over till it's over. And it may not even be over even if he loses California tonight. It is over, isn't it?
I think it's probably over, but there's also, you had the Inspector General report come out and had Hillary exposed as having lied.
Can I translate that for a second? Meaning he's going to stay in the hopes that she's indicted by the Justice Department? Is that it?
I wouldn't say that. I don't
think so. That is
what
you're saying, isn't it?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're drawing distinctions between 2008 and now, and Obama, there was no threat of indictment for Obama.
You know, I want to read one. You wrote something in Medium.com or whatever it is. Terrific piece about the state of affairs today. Politics in the near terms, you wrote today, saves its largest rewards for those who can be inauthentic most convincingly. Is that Hillary Clinton you're writing about?
Among others.
Okay, so, the amazing thing about this to me is not only is Bernie Sanders still in this, I shouldn't say amazing, the interesting thing to me is not only still in it, 2 days ago, he's trashing the Clintons because the Clinton Foundation has taken money from foreign governments while she's Secretary of State.
That was actually an answer to a question that Jake Tapper asked
Well, she said it, whatever it is. A couple days before, she's still a tool of Wall Street. What's the game plan here?
Can I delay and try to think of an answer while I answer a previous question?
You have 15 seconds of delay.
I think the reason that the narrative was so different for Obama than it was for Clinton this time around is because Obama came out of nowhere. He was a phenomenon. He wasn't supposed to win that race. Clinton was, and he beat her. He was this revelation of a politician. Clinton was supposed to have this wrapped up.
First
it was not supposed to be as difficult
as
Adam.
It's going to be interesting to see what the headlines are tomorrow after she truly clinches tonight with the popular vote, with the delegates. I think we can reserve a little judgment to see if tomorrow morning brings that same enthusiasm and sense of history.
I'm not saying I don't think it's a big deal. I'm just saying it was a very different narrative arc to that campaign and to this one.
What was the other question? I have no recollection.
Bernie Sanders and how he's continuing to knock the Clintons, doesn't show any signs of backing down.
Is it because of this? Because he's crossing his fingers, he can't say it publicly, and assuming if the Inspector General found something wrong, maybe the FBI will too?
I'm guessing that he hopes that might happen. I'm also thinking that he genuinely believes, as the polls have suggested, that he'd be a stronger opponent against Donald Trump than she will. I mean, he does do much better, markedly better against Trump than she does at this point in time. And also, I think he truly believes that he can convince superdelegates to subvert the will of the electorate. Because remember, Clinton's won more pledge delegates, and she has one more.
What do you mean,
no,
and more
absolutely.
popular vote too? So what's
So
the
he's
issue?
hoping he
But
can.
you're talking about subverting the will of the superdelegates? Is that what
No,
you're saying?
I'm talking about subverting the will of the
pledged
people who have given
delegates
her a
and
majority
voters.
of pledged delegates.
Okay, well, no, that's true.
I
But the
think he thinks he can make
superdelegates
it
right
happen
now
at
are
the
not
convention.
proportional with the population.
No, they're not
at
at all.
No, but for
if
him to
tonight
become the
goes as
nominee-
expected, even if he does relatively well,
Right.
even if he wins California tonight,
Right.
she's still going to be millions ahead in raw votes and ahead in pledged delegates, and he's still
That's
making
true.
the case. I mean, how can he still make the case after that tonight that the superdelegates should start? I can't stand superdelegates, by the
Right.
way, but if they're going to
I
go
think-
where
is
the
it
people are,
5
the
states
people have
that
gone to
already
her
voted
candidate.
to get rid of them?
I don't know, but I mean, how does
yeah.
he tomorrow make that argument anymore? Can he?
I don't know. I agree.
Well, you have 15 seconds to think about it, too. Well, I ask
Great.
her a
Alrighty.
question. You know, Michael Jonas in Commonwealth made a really interesting point today. The New York Times, here's what Michael wrote, on President Obama's eagerness to get out on the stump on Clinton's behalf, included the remarkable claim, quote, the White House argues that Obama could help Clinton appeal to independent voters, particularly suburban independent women in the Midwest. The first one, well, I guess that's her. What does that say about the first woman candidate in history? This guy's got to go help her win women. Doesn't it underline her point that Bernie Sanders is the better candidate in the fall?
I think that point is completely and totally off base, and I would
The
point
White
you-
House said it.
Well,
Wow.
that doesn't necessarily mean it's on base, particularly about appealing to women when it's Hillary Clinton. I mean, look at women today when it's sinking in that we are about to have a woman be the nominee of a major party for the first time. Even women who aren't supporting Hillary Clinton are really moved by this incredible moment
Well, actually,
in history.
some men are too, you
and
know.
some men, yeah, which is wonderful.
So can we only have a
but-
second? Can we just, I'm sorry, what?
No, I was just going to say, I think that statement is really not on point, and I think that Hillary Clinton is going to do a great job of speaking to those voters on her own.
Speaking of those voters, this is going to be an irresponsible speculation on your part. The
Love
two
it.
most unpopular, and you're going to talk about this in New Hampshire in a second in your package, candidates by far in the history of polling. What percentage of people are actually going to vote for Hillary Clinton or vote for Donald Trump as opposed to voting against Donald Trump or voting against Hillary Clinton?
It's a great question, and I don't know the answer, but I bet if you polled it, this might be the election that sets the record for people voting against candidates as opposed to
Where are you
for.
on that? Are you going to vote for Hillary Clinton, by the way?
I don't know yet.
You don't know yet? What does she need to do to convince you to vote for her?
I mean, part of it's just time. November's a long way away, and this is an incredibly volatile election. And we just don't know. And
Okay,
this
forget my
volatile
question.
world.
Talk to her for 30 seconds.
No. Don't try to convince me. It's a
No,
long way
but you
away,
know what,
and I don't know.
And you know what? I
So-
totally appreciate that. I was a Hillary Clinton supporter in 2008, and there were some wounds I needed to lick after we
Absolutely.
lost
It's
that.
true.
And I think what we can do is to not gloat, to be incredibly respectful and welcoming, and
Mm-hmm.
have a conversation about what it takes to make sure Bernie Sanders supporters are with us in voting for Hillary Clinton and stopping Donald Trump in November.
Is that a
And
good
someone
start?
should.
It's going to be really interesting to see what Bernie does. I mean, the vast majority of Bernie supporters are going to take Bernie's lead, and I don't know what he's going to do. He said he's not going to run as an independent, and I trust that.
Maybe
I
he
don't,
forms another party.
I
Maybe
don't,
he
I don't
forms
want him to just because he said he wasn't going to.
And honestly, Bill Clinton needs to be muzzled by
Oh
the
my
Clinton
God,
campaign because
yes.
he's going to say things that are going to make the process you're
He
talking
said
about.
Bernie's toast.
Yep, he said Bernie's
On
toast. So
election,
someone
that's
should
right.
shut him up.